Hello everyone, and welcome to Bear With Us, here on UCSN, your home for all Ursinus sports news, game highlights, and updates. I'm your host, Erin Ewing, and this week we'll recap the latest trending sports news. But first, let's get into last week's results.
Welcome back to your Ursinus Sports Recap. Let's get you caught up on a packed weekend in Ursinus athletics. We'll start off on the course where women's golf competed at the Ursinus Spring Quad, finishing 4th overall as they continue to build momentum this spring. A solid early showing for the Bears as they settle into the season. They'll look to be back in action next week at their upcoming Spring Invitational. Over to men's lacrosse, who battled in a tight one on the road at Haverford, but came up just short, falling 13-12. It was a back-and-forth game with a strong offensive push, but the Bears couldn't quite finish the comeback. They'll look to bounce back Friday, April 3rd on the road at Dickinson. Women's lacrosse brought the energy, rallying past Widener for a 14-8 win. After a competitive start, the Bears pulled away with a huge second-half performance. They'll return to action Wednesday, April 1st at home against Washington College. On the track, both men's and women's track and field opened their outdoor seasons at Widener, marking the start of a new slate of competition. Strong early efforts across the board as the Bears begin to set marks for the spring. Both squads will compete again next weekend at their next invitational meet. Baseball opened Centennial Conference play with a split, highlighted by a standout performance from Dan Bass. Taking one of the two to start conference play is always key, and it is the Bears that they showed that they're ready to compete. They'll be back on the field Tuesday, March 31st at home against Swarthmore. And finally, softball also split their doubleheader with McDaniel, but Game 2 was the story, as the Bears rallied late to secure a comeback win. That could be the momentum that is huge to move forward. They'll return to action Tuesday, March 31st with a doubleheader against Haverford at home. That's your Ursinus Sports Recap. Conference play is heating up and teams are finding their rhythm, and the Bears are just getting started. Stay tuned because there's plenty more action coming this week. Now, let's hand it over to Erin to highlight some more star athletes.
Our first shout out goes to the star pitcher of the Ursinus baseball team, Dan Bass, who was voted Centennial Conference Pitcher of the Week. Bass is coming off of a stellar week on the mound, allowing just 3 hits and 1 unearned run in his 2 appearances. Through his 7 appearances this season, Bass has a 3-1 record, which leads the Centennial Conference in innings pitched with a total of 36 2/3. His 3.44 ERA ranked 11th in the conference, and his 25 strikeouts is tied for 5th. Let's hope Bass can keep the momentum going into this week. Next up is Abby Burkholder, who was named the Centennial Defensive Player of the Week for her work on the lacrosse field. Burkholder led the Bears defense with 9 ground balls and 6 caused turnovers, which helped her team go 2-0 through the week. Her defensive play also held Dickinson College to just 13 shots on goal in their game last Saturday. Last up is star gymnast Erin Rowe, who will be adding another accolade to her list after earning a trio of WCGA regular season All-American nods. Rowe earned first-team All-American honors for the all-around and the second-team honors for the vault and bars after yet another incredible gymnastics season. Between the championship and regular season, Rowe now has 10 All-American honors. We can't wait to see what she does next year. Congratulations to all our star athletes this week, and now let's head back to Kylie for the latest news on Philly sports.
Today, we are diving into some Philly sports. We'll start off with the Philadelphia 76ers, and this is where things get interesting, because they're finally getting healthy. The Sixers are coming off a huge 118-114 comeback win over the Hornets, where Joel Embiid dropped 29, and both Tyrese Maxey and Paul George added 26 each in their returns to the lineup. And it doesn't stop there. Just a few days earlier, they dominated the Bulls 157-137, with Embiid going 35 in his return game. So this is the big storyline. This team is finally getting its stars back, and you can already see the difference. If they stay healthy, the Sixers suddenly look like a real threat heading towards playoffs. Over to the ice, the Philadelphia Flyers are building momentum coming off of a 2-1 overtime win over the Stars, with the game winner coming late in OT. That's now multiple strong performances in a row as they try to stay competitive down the stretch. On the diamond, the Philadelphia Phillies just opened their season and picked up a 5-3 win over the Rangers to start things off. It is still early in the season, but that's exactly how you want to begin, getting in those win columns and building the confidence right away. And finally, the Philadelphia Eagles are in off-season mode, but still making moves behind the scenes as they prepare for the draft and reload for another run next year. Now, let's hand it back over to Aaron with some latest news on our track team.
It's officially spring, and the men's and women's outdoor season is out and underway. The teams kicked off the season last weekend at Widener University for the annual Danny Coran Invitational. The meet featured several teams across all 3 NCAA divisions, including several Centennial Conference rivals. The men's team had a solid showing in the meet, with senior Sean Bowers claiming the pole vault title over several Division II athletes. His mark of 4.4 meters was able to deliver him the gold. The men's throwers had a strong day in the field, with sophomore Noah Sanders recording a personal best of 53.1 meters in the hammer throw to place 9th. Sanders also got another personal best in the discus throw with 41.45 meters, which placed him 8th. Junior Cardo Kenzel also had a strong showing, recording a personal best in the hammer throw at 46.72 meters. On track, junior Dylan Bear posted a personal best in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 57.94, which placed him 13th in the meet. On the ladies' side, sophomore Mia Bempenza placed 9th in the pole vault with a mark of 3.2 meters, and junior Hannah Quinn led the Bears in throwing, posting a mark of 31.59 meters in the discus throw and 36.03 in the weight throw. On the track, first-year Alyssa Joseph suited up for the 800-meter and ran a personal best of 2:27.92. Sophomore Lindsay Solomon led the Bears in the 5,000-meter with a personal best of 20 minutes and 39.17 seconds. The Bears' next meet will be down in Lynchburg, Virginia for the annual Dennis Craddock Coaches Classic this Friday and Saturday. Be sure to tune in and cheer on your fellow Bears.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see how this track season shapes up for all of them. I think we have a lot of Centennial Conference champions in there.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they got off to a pretty good start this weekend. And, you know, I gotta say, I am so excited for this spring season. I've always been more of a spring sports person than a winter sports person.
Oh, I'm a winter sports all the way.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got a few sports matchups here. You guys at home can let us know what you think. First up, baseball versus football.
Oh, football, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's more entertaining to watch, and you can do fantasy football with your friends, and it brings such like a community together just watching a sports game, and especially when it's like a close game and you're like waiting for that final play. Like, I think it's a nice
I gotta
nice time.
agree. There's nothing better to watch on TV than football. I mean, it's just the action, the community around it. It's the best way to spend your Sunday. And baseball, it's great, but it's a little slow for me.
It's like a snooze fest sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit, especially when you're watching the Phillies this weekend.
Yep.
Next up, track and field versus field hockey.
Ooh, I think I'm going to have to go field hockey here. I don't know any of the rules, nor do I know how that game works. I just really like the outfits. Like, I would want to wear that for my competitions. Like, those, like, they're cute. Like, I would want to wear that.
I got to go track and field. I used to be a runner back in the day. I used to do the hurdles, used to do the sprints, a little bit of long jump action too. I mean, the distance events are a little, they're not the best, but the sprints, the 100-meter, the 4x1 relay, the 4x4, I mean, it's great stuff.
Yep.
All right, soccer versus lacrosse. This is a tough one for me.
This is hard, but I think I'm going to have to go lacrosse, specifically men's lacrosse here. Because I think it's entertaining watching them yell at each other on the sidelines and the coaches yelling at each other. Like, I think it's just so funny sometimes just watching those games on like TV or whatever and just watching them yell at each other because it gets more entertaining for the viewers.
Yeah, so I used to be a soccer player. But I'm going lacrosse, and I'm going men's lacrosse because, like you said, like just watching them fight, like the first time I watched that sport, I was like, this sport is lawless. Like they can just attack each other, and like the refs are just silent, no whistle, no nothing. Like whatever you think like it's gonna, they're gonna get a penalty for, they don't. It's a crazy sport. Now, softball versus basketball.
I think I might have to go softball here. I think that, when those girls make really crazy plays or like hit like a home run, it's really entertaining to watch because, like they go after it. They get into it.
Yeah. For this matchup, I think these are two sports that I kind of have to go see in person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really watch over TV. I think I'm going to give basketball the edge here just because I like the, the back and forth. Again, like baseball, softball, a little slow for me. But, I would so much rather go see basketball in person than watch it over TV.
Yeah, especially those buzzer beaters and this March Madness happening right now.
Yeah,
like it's interesting.
That is the basketball on TV I will watch. All right, volleyball versus tennis.
Oh, I got to go volleyball here. I think that here at Ursinus, like we have a great volleyball team we've watched before. We've worked those games.
Yeah, we've worked them behind the camera.
It's so fun to watch, especially when they dive to make those plays and they put their heart and soul out there, and it's quite a watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm going volleyball. And the last matchup, gymnastics versus wrestling. I wonder what your answer is going to be here.
Well. I am a member of the gymnastics team, so I actually have to go with gymnastics, but my rationale is like, what other sport do you have people flipping and twisting and landing on 4-inch pieces of wood here and running into stationary objects? Like, you don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, and do you think gymnastics is the hardest sport out of all of these?
Oh, by far, 100%. I think that it's taxing body-wise, like, it's hard.
Look, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going gymnastics, but that's enough bias for today. So let's wrap things up.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us on our episode of Bear With Us here on UCSN, your home for all Ursinus sports news, game highlights, and updates. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on our UC Sportsnet YouTube channel. We'll see you then.